I am really excited that we're starting. I'm excited that this is happening and that you're all here. And I'm very excited to introduce, before we jump into all of the sessions, I'm very excited to introduce our first speaker, who is Susan Howard. She is with the Victoria Women's Transition House. Susan is the Development Director of the Transition House. Not only does she devote her time to raising money and awareness and all things with the Victoria Women's Transition House, but she's also trained as a classic ballet dancer in the professional school at the Royal Winnipeg Ballet, which is incredible. That is just blows my mind. And then she turned her passion to the arts, from the arts to the nonprofit income development, and has more than 20 years nonprofit leadership experience with diverse organizations in communities across Canada in fund and community development, marketing, communication, and board and executive management. So when she's not working, she enjoys yoga, which is great because we have yoga coming up later today, fitness, cooking, and attending performance and concerts. So without further ado, I'm really, really excited to introduce our first speaker, who is Susan Howard. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. That's very kind. That was a lovely introduction. I'm delighted to be here. I do want to thank everyone for participating, and special thanks to you, Tanya, and your team at Emerald Day Spa. Emerald Day Spa has been a real supporter of Transition House for a number of years, and we really appreciate your support, and kudos to you and your team for pivoting, a very overused word these days, but in delivering this wonderful weekend of wellness virtually. So I'm delighted to be here. My name is Susan Howard. I am the Development Director at Victoria Women's Transition House. And before we begin, I'd just like to do a territory acknowledgement. It is with much respect to the Algonquin and Sinakhtan speaking people of the Wasanic, Esquimalt, and Songhees nations, on whose traditional territories the Victoria Women's Transition House Society is located, that we make this acknowledgement with the expressed shared hope to live in communities free of intimate partner violence and abuse. And violence and abuse is it's a big part of what our organization is dealing with, and the clients that we support at Victoria Women's Transition House, who are women and children fleeing domestic violence and abuse, which we oftentimes now call intimate partner violence and abuse. So I thought I'd tell you a little bit more about Transition House, about our programs and services, about some of the adjustments that we've had to make during the pandemic, and just go from there. So Transition House, we got our start in 1971. We were a small women's collective. We were running a drop-in referral and resource center, which was aligned with the objectives of the University of Victoria Women's Caucus and the Status of Women Action Group. And then in 1974, we opened our first shelter, and we became a registered charity in 1975. So we have been in the community for 45 years. The heart of our organization is our 18-bed emergency shelter. It has 8 bedrooms, and it's a warm, welcoming home. It's located in a friendly Victoria neighborhood in a confidential location. And women can access our shelter by calling our 24-hour crisis and information line, a phone line that's staffed 24/7 by volunteers and trained staff, with the support of trained staff and counselors. So Transition House is considered an essential service, and so we have not shut our doors during this pandemic. We have needed to flex to reduce our physical capacity within our shelter. Our shelter has had to move down to 60% capacity, and we've added a digital platform to our counseling options for clients so that we can counsel remotely. And we've increased our telephone consultation to add options for safe support. Back in the spring, so back in March and April, Transition House had an initial period of quiet. It was very quiet in our organization. Women were not contacting our crisis line. Our shelter was close to empty, and we did recognize that women were isolating in their homes with their abuser. So this was of great concern to us. We knew that across the region, with pandemic stress factors at work, and those stress factors are things like folks concerned about their financial situation, will they have work, the uncertainty of the pandemic, their kids were at home from school, perhaps they were also at home from work or laid off, and their partner. These are all stress factors. And when these are combined with an existing abusive relationship, the results can be very, very detrimental. And we also knew that not only were these stress factors at work, but that the violence, the abusive violence was on an upswing. Then when the restrictions were lifted slightly in the late spring, early summer, women started reaching out, and our phones were ringing, and we quickly reached capacity at our shelter. In fact, due to service demand combined with our reduced capacity at our shelter, we have had to open a second shelter location. This provides more accommodation, meals, and support for women and their children impacted by domestic violence and abuse. Women can stay at both of our shelters for up to 30 days. That's the limit, unfortunately. And in that time, they are provided with everything they need to be safe and comfortable. So, of course, shelter, food, clothing, hygiene supplies, counseling support, childcare, and assistance to our other counseling programs, as well as other resources in the community. So not only is Transition House experiencing tremendous demand at our shelter, all of our counseling and support programs are also very busy. And as I've mentioned, we have moved to a digital platform. It's a Zoom-like platform for counseling. And we see that women are reaching out for help through all areas of our organization. So we have programs called Stopping the Violence Women's Counseling. We have a homeless prevention program, a spousal assault program, older women's outreach, the Children Who Witness Abuse program, our family law advocacy program, and there are others. We have had to hire more staff. We've had to purchase more technology, equipment, and PPE, personal protection equipment. We've had to continue strict safety and sanitization procedures, and we've had to invest in additional staff training and support. So as all of us have had to adjust to this pandemic, Transition House, it has hugely impacted our operation. In addition to supporting women who are fleeing family violence, Transition House continues to support older women survivors of abuse. These are women in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. They may be struggling with abuse for decades, physical, verbal, or financial abuse, and not just by their husband or partner, but perhaps by their adult children. This is elder abuse. Studies indicate that 1/3 of those accused in violent crimes against seniors are family members. Throughout the pandemic, Transition House continues our support for children who witness abuse. This is called our PEACE program. Over a decade ago, Transition House saw the need for an integrated, specialized program that directly met the psychological and emotional needs of at-risk children who had witnessed violence and abuse in the home. When children witness domestic abuse, the experience can be deeply traumatizing, as if they witnessed the abuse directly. Children react to the experience of witnessing abuse in different ways. One child may be very angry and lash out at caregivers, while another may be withdrawn, silent, and fearful. Research also demonstrates that children who grow up witnessing violence in the home are much more likely to emulate abuse, either as victims or abusers in their adult relationships. These children can benefit greatly from highly trained and experienced counselors to help them begin to process and heal from their experiences. And what we've done at Transition House is we typically offer one-on-one counseling and group counseling for children. We've had to adjust the group counseling because of physical distancing restrictions and guidelines. Of course, we follow all the sanitization procedures and we wear masks, etc. But our counselors do reach out to children. They meet them one-on-one in the community, outside in safe locations. We ran a camp program this summer that instead of being a group camping experience, it's a day camp. It was one-on-one, one child, one counselor, and they went out into the community and did activities together. And this was incredibly beneficial for our young clients. Currently, our organization's community-based workshops are on hold. These are presentations that went into schools to present 90-minute interactive workshops for youth called Violence is Preventable, VIP. We've pivoted, there's that word, and produced a series of videos that using professional counseling staff and student actors to discuss cultivating healthy relationships, building communication skills, setting boundaries, and other key topics. And finally, Transition House continues to offer counseling and support to women who have recently been abused or who are working to overcome the effects of abuse from their past. These women may need support through the justice system or may have a potentially life-threatening situation with their partner that requires the highest level of attention and detail through the support of the Regional Domestic Violence Unit, a Transition House collaboration with local police. One of the core values at Transition House is that each woman has the right to choose the direction of her life according to her own values and needs. Transition House believes that women are the experts of their own lives and that they know how best to navigate their own path. As such, Transition House offers supportive, non-judgmental service. Research shows that it can take up to 7 attempts for a woman to leave her abusive partner. Transition House welcomes a woman back to the shelter or counseling services as many times as she needs the support. And a few final details. All Transition House shelter and services are provided free of charge. And every year, the organization helps more than 2,000 women and hundreds of children and youth. Although Victoria Women's Transition House is proud to serve the community since the mid-1970s, the sad reality is that these services are still so desperately needed. This is just a bit about our organization. And with continued events like this and support from the community, we look forward to continue to offer safety and hope to thousands of courageous women and their children leaving violence and abuse. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Susan. That it needed a minute there. That was beautiful and extremely heartfelt, and I'm not sure if there's like a dry eye. Anyway, I just need a moment. That was really, really beautiful. Thank you so much. I personally feel that it's really important to share everything you shared with everyone, because I don't think there's like I said, the whole idea with the event is to raise awareness as to why we're doing this, and what you're doing is incredible. And I just really appreciate you sharing your morning with us to explain everything as why we're doing this, where it's going, what it's for, so that everybody knows that when they're watching it, they know that this is something bigger than me, bigger than Emerald. It's to help raise awareness and money to support those women. And like I said in the video, in the news clip, it's about the children, and I think that really got to me. So right now, more than ever, it's important. So thank you.
Thank you, Tanya, and thank you, everyone, and all the best of the holidays to everyone. Stay well and take care.
Thank you, Susan. We'll see you soon.
Sure will. Thanks.
Bye. Okay. I think we'll just give everyone a moment here. So I just wanted to thank everyone for tuning in. Again, this is our third annual Women in Power fundraising event. All the proceeds are going to go to the Women Transition House. We just heard from Susan Howard, the development director for the Victoria Women's Transition House Society. That was really moving. Thank you so much, Susan. A few housekeeping things while we kind of change gears. This event is going to be recorded, but for the question and for the question segment for our live speakers, we will not be recording that. And then there will be a few things that some segments that won't be recorded. So the reason why we're going to be recording it, so that if you know anyone that might be interested in this event that may not be able to come today or tomorrow, they can go on to our Emerald Days Spa YouTube channel to watch parts of the event later on this week. We'll be hosting it there. We also ask that you turn your audio off, which will most likely be muting most of you, and your video. So if you have a video and you don't want to be seen, it's good that you turn your video off so that, you know, if you're at home relaxing in your robe and slippers, you know, you don't want anyone to see what you're doing. So if you have your video on, if you could please turn that off. And I also wanted to introduce somebody who has been working alongside me for the last 3 months, helping me with this passion project, and that is Whitney Harrington. The universe brought her to me in such an incredible way, and we came together for both of us sharing the love for helping people. And Whitney has a lot of experience in fundraising events, and she is, you know, the other half to this passion project of mine. And she will be jumping in, and she'll be, you know, you'll see her on the video. So that's Whitney, and I just want to introduce Whitney. Hi, Whitney.
Hi.
How are you?
Everybody. I'm doing well. It's so exciting to be here, and I thank you to everybody who is here and you know, supporting the Victoria Women's Transition House. And like Tanya said, it's been a passion project of hers, and I was honored to be able to get to the opportunity to help in this event. So I'm excited.
And I will let everyone know, this is, like I said, our very first year doing virtual, and Whitney is coming to us from Texas. So, I mean, that's, I think, one of the most amazing thing about this event is that it's virtual. We, like I said, we have so much community and business involvement, and it's virtual. So you can be in your living room, on your couch, in your slippers, in your robe, hair not done, in your bed, watching from your phone, or you could be from Texas, or I'm coming from Emerald Day Spa. So I'm actually in a private treatment room. So I'm away from everybody, which is why I'm not wearing a mask. When I do leave the room, I put my mask on, as I have it right here. And everybody you see virtually today, they will be in their own bubble, in their own room. Everybody, if somebody has someone with them, they're in their bubble. So I just want everyone to know that we are home, we're safe, we're socially distancing, and we're not wearing our masks unless we're going into a common area. But most of us are in our homes. So just wanted to make sure everyone's aware of that. But Whitney's coming to us from Texas. It's incredible.
Yeah, technology. It's really kept us together this year.
Right? So blown away by technology, right?
Yeah, definitely developed this year for sure.
And the amazing thing about Whitney is her and I have been working together through Zoom for the last 3 months, and we've met a few times, but the majority of this beautiful presentation was brought to you by us working this way. So this is sort of our comfort zone, isn't it, Whitney?
Yeah.
Seeing each other on Zoom.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you. So Whitney will be jumping in and out on the screen. So, and she'll be the one doing the giveaways. So just a reminder, if you have registered for this event, if you have not registered for the event and you're tuning in from a Zoom link, we do encourage you to register for the event because your name will be put into a draw for the end of the day for a chance to win a piece of jewelry from Klee Accessories. I will let you know that it is a virtual event, but unfortunately the giveaways will be for the local people local to Victoria and the surrounding communities. So unfortunately, if you're tuning in from Texas, thank you for being here, but we can always see how that goes. But it's the door prize. You want to register for the Eventbrite link so that we have your email address so we can contact you if you win. That leads us to thanking our sponsors. So we have quite a few sponsors that we'd like to thank. One of them being Used Victoria. So Used Victoria, they helped do some advertising for us along with High Rise Advertising, Derma Spa, and Spruce Reflexology. A really amazing thing about these sponsors is that I personally I know them personally, or I go to that business. So I thought it was really great that they could show their support by donating some of the donation prizes. Additional sponsors. We also want to thank all of our speakers and for the participating business. As you can see, we have so many incredible local businesses who have donated their time to be here today. So you can see that. And just so everybody knows, I'm not going to say who, but some of the speakers are going to be doing giveaways during the presentation. So it's definitely worth coming back and watching some of the presentations. You need to watch all of them, but it's really good. I'm not going to tell you who, but some of the presenters are going to give away some things. And then I also additionally want to thank some more local businesses. As you can see, they're on the screen. So again, back to the donations, we're here today to raise money and awareness to help stop domestic violence. And how the donations work is that if you go to our Eventbrite donation page, Whitney will be putting it in our chat, so you can click on that. You can see it's Eventbrite Women Empower 2020 donations, and you want to click on the tickets, and that will take you. And you'll see that there's a kind of a sliding scale of what you can donate. So whatever you decide to donate, little or a lot, all of it counts. And you just being here, showing your support and watching is just so incredible. And just to get the awareness out and let everyone know that we're doing this, text your friends, send them the link. It'd be much appreciated to show your support that way. And in regards to the donations, we have it so that if you want to donate a certain amount, you'll be entered into the draw to win that prize. So there's a lot of local businesses and a lot of the presenters, they have donated some of their coaching sessions and all that to the donation. So if you watch somebody and you fall in love with them and you want to get a session with them, you can donate that amount to try and win their prize. So we hope everybody can donate and help. And if not, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate the support. If you have any questions, feel free to just pop it in the group chat. And right now we are going to take a little brief break until our next presenter. So we'll see you soon. Thank you.